Hello, 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 and welcome to the Dangerously Divine podcast. I'm Rachel, and this is the ultimate space for unlocking that irresistible, magnetic, feminine energy that you've had inside you all along. If this is your first time here, hi, welcome. I'm excited to be on this journey of feminine magnetism with you. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for tuning in again. Today, we are diving into a secret sauce, so to say, of magnetizing your desires at like warp speed, literally so fast. But first, I want to have a little heart to heart moment because I feel like this topic that I'm about to speak about really doesn't get enough airtime, doesn't have enough place in the world. And I tried to talk about it on the first episode of season 3, and I feel like that was a little bit of, like, getting your toes wet into this subject, but it was more of, like, a little life update. Also, I'm sorry, Vera just jumped on my lap. I swear to God, whenever I record a podcast, she thinks I'm talking to her, and so immediately she comes and jumps on my lap. So if you hear a little bell, I'm sorry, that was my cat. But anyway, the topic we're going to be talking about today in the world of divine feminine energy and magnetism is your self concept. What this means is really the way that you see yourself, the stories you tell yourself about who you are, what you truly believe you deserve, and what's possible for you. I felt called to kind of re-record this episode or go more in depth here because I was having a phone conversation with one of my clients and she was like, "I just feel so far behind in life." And this woman is so successful. She's in a beautiful relationship, about to be engaged soon. She's looking to buy a house. And she's relatively young and was just talking about how she had gone to a women's networking event where everyone was seemingly so much more accomplished than her. And she couldn't help but feel like she was behind in life and compare herself to other people. And to me, as her coach listening on the other side of that call, I was like, well, first off, that's a really brave thing to do. And, I'm proud of you to step out of your comfort zone, but also, instead of feeling shame when you feel that discomfort of, "Am I doing enough?" Let's use that as a motivator, and let's not take it as a negative that these feelings are coming on, but that should be a clear indicator that you're meant for more, that yeah, your life might not be where you want it to be, but at least you're taking that next step, going to this networking event, identifying and getting a little bit closer to what it is that you want to do, putting yourself in rooms where, these people are and their problems are different. And like, those are such huge steps towards whatever goal you're trying to achieve. So I was like, okay, we need to record another episode about your self concept because I feel like as women, so many of us feel the same comparison. We feel like nothing we do is good enough. We might feel a little bit unaccomplished, and we put ourselves into boxes of what we think we can achieve with XYZ money or because we have XYZ degree and experience versus what we can't achieve. And I'm just here to tell you and to remind you that look, you were put onto this earth with big dreams. You wanted to make an impact and live your purpose and, to make a ton of money and to love your life and to travel the world and to like live this Pinterest perfect life, right? But somewhere along that way, things got hard and maybe a little overwhelming. And it felt like you were just swimming and floating through life without actually taking a step back and deciding what it is you want for yourself and to take that risk and to go get it. It's almost like we need to have a childlike wonder when we look at our problems and when we look at our life today. We need to have that bravery that kids have We need to not think about the possibilities and the what ifs. If you've been there, you're definitely not alone. And I've been there. Countless other women have been there. We all kind of start out with this fire, and the world is ours to conquer as we're like kids. And then we grow up and life happens and hustle culture happens. And you're taught that there is really only one way to win and to be successful in this world. And that's to grind and push and strategize and all of these like masculine words. But I'm here to drop a little truth on you that that's not the only way. And that's not the whole story. And your story doesn't have to end if you're feeling uncomfortable with your reality. At any moment, you can change your self concept and you can change your world. So that's what we're here to talk about today. I bet you can tell how excited I am from my voice and the fact that I just dove into this freaking topic because I'm ready to change the way that women view themselves. So let's first talk about why this is key to activating your feminine magnetism and truly making you the kind of woman that gets what she wants. The reason that unlocking your magnetic power comes from your self concept and magnetizing all of those desires is because it's not only about what's going on in your current reality, it's also about healing and awakening and remembering who the hell you are underneath all of that noise and pressure of today's society. That's where your self concept comes into play. So here's what I've learned. Your self concept, in very simple terms, is who you believe you are. And this is 100% responsible for magnetizing all of your desires into your reality. And I'm going to repeat that again because this is the kind of knowledge that, like, when it clicks, it changes your entire world. Your self concept is the foundation of everything. It is who you believe you are, and it is 100% responsible for magnetizing things into your reality. It's made up of a few simple components: how you think about yourself most often, how you feel about yourself most often, what you believe you have, and what you believe that you are capable of having. I'm going to repeat that also. It's made up of how you think about yourself most often, how you feel about yourself most often, what you believe you have, and what you believe you are capable of having. So, what does that mean? Your self concept is basically your identity. And kind of the kicker here is that our 3D reality, the one that we're living in right now, is literally just a mirror of what you believe about yourself. So, if you're wondering why your dreams haven't showed up, why you were not able to magnetize that new car or that dream relationship or that new home, it's because your self concept, you don't believe that you're truly worthy of having those things. So here's where it gets juicy, and here's where we're going to start changing those beliefs. You want the dream house, the thriving career, the soulmate level relationship, the money, the travel, the opportunities, all of it. And you must be thinking, okay, well, Rachel, I'll believe it when I see it. But that's a backwards way of looking at it because that is not how the universe works. We cannot wait for things to show up in our life before we decide to feel worthy of them. No, we have to become the version of ourselves who already has the things that we want. You need to think and feel like the woman who already has all of those things in her life. Because when you do that, it's like sending this green light to the universe saying, "Yep, I'm ready. Bring it on. I already think I have these things. So, of course, I have them. Of course, I need them. Of course, they're already in my life. Bring it." So, how do we do that? Let's take it one step further. We can do this by creating the inner reality of already having those experiences. Because when you align your thoughts and feelings with the version of yourself that already has your desires, that's when things start to click and the magic happens. and you start making decisions differently. You walk into rooms differently. You vibrate at a different frequency. And so all of those desires start coming to you. And honestly, they start coming to you fast. So let's do a little bit of an exercise because I'm a big fan of shadow work. I want you to close your eyes or, don't if you're driving or something like that. And just think about this. What are those generational patterns or like deep rooted family beliefs or just ideas that you've grown up with that have kept you playing small? I know for me, it is definitely the concept of being grateful for what you already have. Growing up, my mom was on food stamps. It was kind of just her and I throughout most of my life. And I was really young and didn't realize, how scarce things were in my household when I was that young. And my mom would always get mad at me. And she would be like, Rachel, aren't you grateful for what you already have? Because I would want, I don't know, a new phone or like a new toy or, would see my friends out on their bikes and like want a new bike. And it felt like wanting something more meant that I wasn't grateful for what I already had, even though that's totally not true. Like, 2 things can be true at once. You can be grateful for what you already have while still wanting more out of life. And I actually remember having a conversation today. I'm totally forgetting what my dad and I were talking about. Oh, we were talking about the new iPhone that's coming out, the 16 iPhone 16. And my dad asked me, he's like, "Which one are you gonna get? The 16 Plus, 16 Pro, 16 Pro Max?" And I was like, "Well, obviously I'm gonna get the 16 Pro Max, like the most expensive one, the best one, duh." And he's like, "Good for you." And he's like, "Only the best." And that's a really weird phrase coming from my dad because he recently filed for bankruptcy and I know he doesn't have a ton of money. And my parents really stopped supporting me when I was 17, 18, and moved out of the house. Um, but it was just kind of strange to hear him be like, "Yeah, Rachel, like, of course you would have the best." And he told me a story and he's like, "Back when I had money, all of my clothes were from Barney's because I know when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you start attracting opportunities that are aligned and that also feel good. And, everything just clicks into place." And I was like, damn, has my dad been listening to my podcast? I know he does. Um, but it was so cool for me because oftentimes, even now that I'm 28 years old, when I make big purchases, I still feel anxious and like need to call my parents and be like, should I actually do this? Like, I remember when I was buying a car, like I was on the phone with them for hours and it just feels kind of scary to make a big purchase like that on your own, at least for me. But my dad really kind of solidified my self-concept that, like, of course I deserve the best. Of course I, want the best iPhone. And of course I wanna, like, travel first class. And of course I'm staying at the best hotels. Of course I live in a gorgeous apartment. Like, duh. And my dad knows nothing of my financial situation now. But it's like at some point, that stuff stops mattering. And what does matter is how you view yourself. So I want you to think about what deep rooted family or generational beliefs you have that have been holding you back. Maybe you grew up hearing things like money doesn't grow on trees, or you have to work hard to be successful, or maybe your family has like a history of putting others first. So you don't know or it doesn't come naturally to put yourself first. And I want you to kindly talk to yourself and just ask yourself, how are these old patterns still running the show in my life? How are they holding me back from embodying that best next level version of myself? The one that knows she's capable, the one that feels worthy of her desires, the one who is magnetic and feminine and fearless and brave and smart and beautiful. How are my beliefs ruining it all for me? Because once you figure out how these beliefs come into play in your life, then you can truly start to release it and tell yourself, okay, this belief is what I grew up with, but it's not how I feel anymore. And you can meditate on doing that. You can visualize yourself letting those beliefs go. You can journal about it. I'm not really going to tell you what practice works well here because honestly, all roads lead to Rome. And I think that any practice that you find works for you in releasing those deep subconscious or conscious beliefs, I'm going to let you decide. But acknowledging the pattern is that first step to breaking free from that pattern. At this point of the episode, I feel like I've been talking in your ear now for 17 minutes about this idea of self concept and why having a positive self concept is the key to magnetizing our desires. But I want to kind of take a moment to also talk about why this is so essential. Because you might be thinking, like, hey, Rachel, yeah, I have these like deep rooted negative beliefs, but like, I'm okay with my job. Like, my life is fine. I'm okay being normal and it's fine. It's not great, but like, I'm afraid to take that next step. And so I'm just going to keep playing small. I'm just going to stay in my little comfort zone, little lane that I have because I don't know what's on the other side and it's too scary. Well, if you've had any thoughts or anything like that, or if that even crossed your subconscious, I'm going to call you out for it because I want you instead of thinking about yourself to think about the female collective. And maybe this requires you to think bigger about that dream. But when things happen for a divine feminine woman, when she gets that dream car or that dream career or the house, she truly multiplies whatever she has for everyone else in her life. That is the divine feminine part of magnetizing all of your desires is that as a woman, once we receive it, that nurturing, loving, kind spirited, communal woman is birthed from all of the desires that she's magnetized that she cannot help but help others. It's like if your friend gets a really cool job opportunity and she is so obsessed with her company, she magnetized that into her life. If you're looking for a job, she's probably going to be the first one that would put you up for a job at her company because when magnetic women get what they want to help others. I see women I follow on social media and in the news like making huge headway and sharing their journeys and how they're giving back is by inspiring the world. Friends or family members can share discounts to products that they love. Professors share their wisdom with their students. The moral of the story here is that you have some authority in your life. In some aspect of your life, you have authority. And it's your responsibility to step up and step into that highest level version of yourself to gain more authority to help others. Success is never created solo. And whether you know it or not, you have had many mentors that have helped guide the path on which you're walking today. Even like silent mentors, ones who like you've observed quietly, or ones that you connect with and learn, or ones that have been with you through so much of your journey and have supported you and not even really known that they've mentored you. We've all had people like that in our lives. And you've also probably mentored so many other people along the way, also that you don't even know. We all have this power and inspiration and our own personal experiences to share that could impact someone else's life in their personal life, in their professional life, in just their journeys. So, even if you have so much that you still want to achieve and you feel like your self concept is all over the place and you're not where you want to be yet, and you're still waiting on the cusp of something great, you're waiting for all of your desires to come to you. No, start acting like the person who has everything that you want and mentor people. Teach them how to be like you, how to have faith like you, how to have love like you. You have a gift that everyone wants. All of the things that you've learned on your journey of life, you bring with you each and every day, and it can help someone else in such a massive way. So, even if your self concept is a little shaky, I encourage you to get out there, not even for yourself, not even so you can have the nice car, have the nice house, have the dream relationship. Do it. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for someone else that's looking up to you. Okay, my dears, we are about to wrap up today's episode, but I want to just leave you with a couple words of wisdom. You are already powerful. You are already a magnetic woman. The woman that you are waiting to become is just on the other side. And although I spoke with a lot of gumption in my voice today, I wanted to tell you that the universe isn't asking you to be someone that you're not. It can always wait for you to be ready to be that person. But why not just wake up and live who you were truly meant to be each and every day? Why put it off any longer? Because once you do, everything falls into place. And that's why there are so many manifestation coaches who just preach this stuff because we want to share it with the world. And the universe really doesn't wait for anyone. And so, if not you, it's going to be someone else who's waking up to their power. But there is enough abundance to go around. So, don't ever feel like because you didn't take action today, or you're not going to do it until next week, that you're going to miss out on all the goodness that's in store. Everything happens in divine timing. And if you feel a little bit anxious and uncomfortable, I encourage you to think about those feelings, think about those deep rooted beliefs, find that little pressure point in yourself and start acting upon it. Start doing those scary things. Start taking those big leaps of faith and start acting like the person that you want to be because it is literally just a matter of a moment until the universe catches up to you and is like, bam, here you go. Here's that life you wanted ordered to you on a silver platter. Because when you decide to shift your self concept and see yourself as the woman who is worthy of every freaking desire in your heart, the world starts to mirror that back to you. Doors open, opportunities appear, relationships thrive, and you no longer feel like you have to hustle or push or sacrifice yourself to get what you want. Everything just happens for you. If this is resonating with you and you're ready to go even deeper into your feminine magnetism, I've got something special for you. I want you to go ahead and head over to my website, www.iamdangerouslydivine.com. I paused for a moment there because I don't know why I said the www dot. That's so 90s of me. Go to iamdangerouslydivine.com, fill out the application to work with me one on one. You will be a VIP client. Right now, I am offering 1 month free. It is a 6-month program for you to change your life. It is September. You could be a completely different woman by March. Honestly, if you get into any of my programs, you will become a magnetic woman. But if you love my energy, want to work with me one on one, and are feeling super psyched and want to have someone to give you the tools and techniques and to help hold you accountable, I would love to give you 1 month free. So head over there, fill out the form. Let me know that you came from the podcast because I am not offering this deal anywhere else. And we can go ahead and hop on a call and start exploring your innate feminine magnetism. whether you want to magnetize a new relationship, a career move, a new house, or a new opportunity, or new friends, whatever you want in your life, you will have me for a full 6 months. Honestly, we can work on more than one thing. Like, I'm not going to cap it at one desire. Let us feed off of the juiciness of everything that we freaking want. So go ahead, head over there, say hi to me. Let's get chatting and let's help shift your energy. Also, please don't forget, if this episode spoke to you and your soul and you're feeling super stoked about it, please share it with your friends. Tag me on Instagram at I am dangerously divine and let me know, what was your favorite part? What breakthroughs came through for you? Anyway, I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you for spending the last couple minutes with me. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Know that I love you today more than yesterday, but not as much as tomorrow. Until next time, I'm Rachel, and this is the Dangerously Divine podcast. Thank you for listening.